Good morning. Today's date is April 6th, 2013, and my name is Leslie Williams. Yesterday, I spent the whole day, I just woke up about 20 minutes ago, and I fed my birdies, and today I'm surviving what is known as a migraine. I'm in San Diego, California. I'm a target of what is known as organized stalking, which is also called gang stalking. But I'm also an activist. You know, I make my videos in order to inform, to expose the truth, because the truth doesn't seem to matter at the Hall of Justice, or from my experience and from my education in reference to educated knowledge from other targets' YouTube videos and blogs, that any government in any state in the United States gives two craps about these crimes. From what I can tell in reference to my thorough investigation from reviewing targets' blogs, noticing the amount of petitions that are online, looking at the Bioethics Commission's hearings from in reference to how targeted individuals have literally went through their money, their time, their effort, and their suffering to go down to that Bioethics Commission down in Washington to stand before Amy Goodman to testify concerning what is happening to them, their loved ones, their property, and their lives, and not one person has been prosecuted, and they have not done one thing concerning these expeditions that are happening towards them and their personal lives, then I can only deduce, and I already know it through my own experience, that this is organized crime in the system that is hosting this, managing this, allowing it, protecting it, and prosecuting and institutionalizing the victims of it. So I make these videos in order to inform, to expose the truth. You know, I'm going to backtrack for a second, and I'm going to, but hang on a second, because I'm having my morning cigarette, and I do apologize for smoking while I'm making this video. Hang on, please. I'm going to backtrack for a moment. I want to brief my viewers or anybody who might be watching this video to tell them something about the criminality, just one small itty-bitty section of the criminality in reference to the perpetrators of these types of crimes and the people that they use who are involved in them and the audacity that they have. And this is just a very small section of what I know. You know, some people entered my life through friendly appearing means and normal appearing environments in order to be able to put themselves in my life in order to train me to depend on them. This is years and years before I had any clue whatsoever that they were involved in any type of crime, let alone the technological resources that are attached to these expeditions. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm bringing this up. I'm a smart woman. You know, I don't claim to be any smarter than the next guy, but I'm educated and I'm reasonably intelligent. And even though I do have learning disabilities, understand this and be clear. I am 100% capable of taking care of myself and making informed decisions concerning social relationships. And I'm very prudent when it comes to making sure that I make smart choices in reference to my finances, social relationships, intimate relationships, and so on and so forth. Because I'm grown up. You know, I'm middle-aged. And I'm actually old enough to have almost a 30-year-old child. And I have very strong parental instincts, and that's part of the reason why I do what I do in reference to informing and exposing the factual realities of these expeditions. Because if I had children, I would want someone to tell me what's going on in our community. And since these expeditions are going on in every state and every city in the United States, and they're going on right underneath your nose, okay? See, the average citizen doesn't have one clue about gang stalking. In fact, I want to say something here. I was an open target of this crime overtly and sometimes directly for over 7.5 years without having a name for it. I didn't discover what was happening to me until June 9th, 2009, and I was not acquainted with, okay, or had no real understanding about the technological resources of these expeditions until October 7th, 2010. Now, the reason why I bring all this up is because I know that, see, there's a manifesto online right now that was written by a manager of gang stalking crews. And he flat out states that one of the reasons why they're so successful in getting innocent community members to harass a target for them is by exciting the personality of the people that they're using and combining it with a slander campaign about the target. In other words, they could take a person who's a devout Christian or a devout religious person, and then create what is known as a bogus investigation file, whether they be a real cop or an individual who's walking around with a fake badge. And what they'll do is they'll make up a fake bogus criminal investigation file, couple it with the real badge or the fake badge, go to YouTube and type in "listen to a stranger." Hang on a second. And then they'll approach a community leader, anybody they can, a person from any type of group, and they'll show them this fake badge or real badge, the fake community, the fake criminal investigation file, and then they'll combine it with a lie about the target in order to excite the personality of that person in reference to how they've been briefed, how this person or this group might think, and then they'll tailor the slander to fit the personality of the person they're soliciting to harass the target for them. Because in part, the harassment that a target experiences has to be done in a cost-effective manner. It has to be done for free, so they can make money off the insurance fraud when a target breaks down, because they do count on an accumulated stress. Okay? So the point I'm trying to make is that these people will put anybody in harm's way in reference to how they'll solicit anybody to harass the target for them. And since a lot of targets are walking around being harassed on a daily basis, on top of already have been assaulted, possibly raped, had every area of their lives destroyed by these criminal groups, a lot of targets are walking around traumatized, in psychological shock, and very defensive. Some of them are. I'm not saying all of them are. Okay, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that they count on accumulated stress and provocation in order to provoke a target to act out. Because they are into all forms of racketeering, and the general public has no idea about the racketeering schemes that are out there. And let me just give you a few sidebar illustrations concerning the type of racketeering schemes these people are involved in. They try to provoke a target. They basically assess the financial means of a target. If they're on Social Security disability, they'll want to go after them so they can co-opt their finances by taking legal custody of them, so they can take legal custody of their checks, place them in a syndicated run environment to exploit their insurance by claiming that they're acting out in the homes that they're put in after they're provoked, and then claiming that they got to go to the hospital to get on medication because they're out of control. They put them in the hospital, and then their syndicated doctors will bilk their insurance out of thousands and thousands of dollars. And these incidences are repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated. Okay, sometimes 2 times a month, each month. Okay, in order to make it appear they have a legitimate reason to put them back into the hospital, to put them on psychotropic medications they don't belong on at all, which produces anxiety, fear, panic attacks, depression, so they can be easily provoked the next time they're released, put back into the home, and then provoked again. Because the medication will aid and abet them in reference to how the target is now neurally compromised and physically compromised as a result of the medication while they're being provoked again. And this is all done to trying to provoke a target to act out so they can put them back in the hospital again. To bilk them insurance, they've already co-opted their monthly checks, and the targets are exploited sexually in these environments. Or what they'll do is have a target arrested, place them in a detention center or a prison, because a lot of prisons and detention centers now are privately owned, and they will file for federal funds per inmate. Go to Google and type in how a Pennsylvania judge was sentenced to 28 years for pipelining first-time misdemeanor children to the full maximum sentence, because every child that got pipelined to that detention center in turn applied for federal funds per child. Yes, and he got caught and got 28 years in prison himself. Then you can go to Google and type in how 4 mentally disabled individuals were kept in a basement for 10 full years in order for that skank that had a hold of them to co-opt their monthly Social Security checks. Yes. Now, when you look at that case alone, you think to yourself, well, how does a woman who was already in jail for murder, she had murdered her boyfriend by putting him in a closet and starving him to death, and she got caught and sent to prison. She got out of prison and then is able to get legal custody of 4 mentally disabled individuals? How? I strongly suspect because she was part of these organized crime syndicates who had a syndicated probate attorney on her side. You know, and these are just 2 small itty-bitty illustrations concerning the organized crime that is in the system that aids and abets in these expeditions of gang stalking. And so I want fellow citizens and fellow La Jollans and fellow Californians, because every now and then I'm in La Jolla, I want them to understand that if you're being solicited to harass somebody you don't know, don't get the word out, because innocent, targeted individuals are being taken out of their home as a result of these crime syndicates who are walking around with badges, who are soliciting property owners, landlords, to get on board in these campaigns in reference to developing schemes to have the target evicted. And if that don't work, they'll steal your rent, even rent that's mailed certified mail return receipt. And that is done to put them out on the street so they can and they'll wreck their car before or after the eviction, so the target don't have a car to sleep in. They'll attempt through very creative means to keep a target off of social services like food stamps. Yes, because the target has to eat, and all targets are blacklisted from employment, because through the tracking and surveillance of a target, they're aware at all times of where a target's at. The GPS tracking of their cell phone, the physical people they use to make sure that the target is kept in line. This is all done in order to be able to break targets down, okay, for eventual containment, institutionalization, or to co-opt them legally through syndicated probate attorneys and judges. That right there shows you that these are individuals who are connected to downtown. Now, to give you a last sidebar information, a tidbit of information, there's a manifesto online that you can find by going to Google and typing in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. It's a manifesto of a manager of gang stalking crews. He flat out states that what they do is excite the personality of people in the community so they can combine it with the slander campaign to get them to harass a target for them for free. He basically says that they'll approach a person who might be, how did he word it? If it's, dang, I forgot the exact word, but trust me, if you read the manifesto, you'll clearly be able to see it. But the point I'm trying to make in this is, darn it, I lost my train of thought, plus I gotta go to the bathroom. You know what, I apologize for this, but I just woke up about 10 minutes ago, and I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna go do what I gotta do, and then I'm gonna continue this video as soon as I gotta do what I gotta do. And then so look in the description of this YouTube video for a continuation of these statements. Thank you.